Handset maker HTC Corp reported its lowest quarterly profit since 2006 as it continued to lose market share to its competitors. Google is introducing a credit card to pay for advertising through its AdWorks program in the UK and in the US. I'm Lindsay Bell, and the morning call starts right now.
Good morning, I'm Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com.
And I'm Lindsay Bell with The Street, and together we bring you the Morning Call Express. Futures are pointing down this morning. They're being led by headlines again. The World Bank this morning, they cut their estimates on growth in Eastern Asia. Spain remains a question. So how are you going into trading today, Scott?
Well, it's pretty interesting. On Friday, a lot of the newspaper headlines read, or over the weekend, Dow at 5-year highs, et cetera, et cetera. But to traders, that watch the action very closely on Friday, you had some faulty negative signals. Anytime you try and break out above a key level, remember we were talking about 1460, and you don't get momentum, that means there are some people selling into it. A lot of groups acted worse than others, but you never want to see a strong open to be sold. So you could have either sold some strength, maybe got stopped out of some trailers. All in all, on a macro basis, the patterns are all fine. You still have so much room. But to a short-term trader, some guys probably went home short, considering they were pushed through failures across the board.
So how did you handle it, and what do you expect it to lead to, that Friday's move?
Well, first things, let's take a quick look at the chart of the S&P. If you take a chart of the S&P all the way back from a year ago, from where we hit a low below 1100 to 1460 or so.
I'm Sean Hendelman
no
with T3
problem
Live.
whatsoever. Okay, it's been a really big time move coming all the way into the highs here, but on a short-term basis, if you trade intermediate trends, here is where we were talking about it breaking and closing above 1460. That was your ad. And then on Friday, I came in with, I think, 6 longs and 1 short. I was able to sell some strength. And then as we pulled in and as I saw, tech get weak, I got stopped out of some trailers and I wound up going home with 1 long, 1 short because, we found resistance at the old highs of 1474. So I want to make sure, that this type of pattern and this accelerated trend remains in check. And I think it'll be important to watch to see how we handle 1449 to 1451 today.
You mentioned tech. That has certainly been one of the sectors that's been more weak recently, and certainly the relative weakness in Apple hasn't helped. So what levels are you watching in that sector?
Well, first, take a quick look at the Qs. This could be one of the first sectors to actually get to the 50-day, but which it hasn't seen in a while. It's been riding the 8 and 21 day. This was the day that tech lost momentum right here, September 25th, that pone down day. Tried to have a bounce to the upside. This group closed on almost a dead lows Friday, not a great sign. So if it starts breaking below this small ascending channel here, you could see it test the 50-day, which is around 68.14. And as you mentioned, I think all eyes will be on Apple today. Every trader in America will be watching it. Half my desk is shorted, half my desk is trying to be long it. This is when the trade changed for me, when it broke on September 25th below the 21-day around 683. It's been a two-way trade. First time I tested the 50-day, had a nice 20-point bounce. Friday, couldn't do it. Now we're looking at 640, 644. If you look at where it broke out the last time, that's that point of reference into here. So, I would be covering some into this area. We might get a bounce first try as we evaluate it, but then you have the 100-day that's going to be moving up all the way down at 620, so you still have to be a bit careful.
Looking at some groups that have been a little more stronger, the home builders, they hit a new high or the year highs on Friday, which was nice. And then I think the financials has also been showing some positive trends.
Yeah, well, midweek last week I got long the XHB after the decent pull-in. You look at the chart here, a little bit different than tech, just to show you the divergence. This was that harsh move lower, that lower wedge. You wanted to break into the upside, so it found a little resistance near the high, so it got me out. It was just a nice trade for me, but that continues to show some leadership. XLF. The banks have been a bit better lately, not lagging and not necessarily on fire, but okay. I would say here you'd want to see XLF hold above, just say 1580 to continue this type of strength to keep this upper area intact. And then we have earnings from JP Morgan, Wells Fargo. It's going to be important to see what kind of report comes out from the two of them.
Yeah, those will be 2 to watch on Friday. Gold and silver, just real quickly, they look like they're poised to make a breakout. How do you trade that? What are you doing there?
Well, they looked poised on Thursday. That's why I got a little excited about it. But on Friday, you saw some relative weakness. So for short-term traders, I was trading it for a breakout. I've been in and out since it ignited on August 20th and 21st. So I got stopped out of silver. I think gold and silver need to hold above the 21-day moving average in order to keep the upward momentum intact. Macro investors are probably fine, but short term, watch those two moving averages. If those give way, you could see a bit more of a pullback there.
Well, we're going to cover all of this and more in the long form version, so be sure to check in for that.
Hi, I'm Sean Hendelman of T3 Live, where we train, coach, and mentor traders in order to help you put your money to work with confidence. The T3 Live approach is a blueprint for you to recognize, adapt, and ultimately take advantage of different market conditions. To begin your training with T3 Live, we would like to offer you the opportunity to enroll in our free 30-day online home study course. Fill in your name and email address, and I'll see you on the other side.